Let's make sure to have good posture. As we start, feet about shoulder width apart. Roll the shoulders back. Open the palms forward. And sink down into the knees just a little bit. Let's draw the breath into the chest and then all the way down to the lower belly. Starting our 3-part breath. So that's a nice strong inhale, filling the belly, or filling the chest and then filling the belly, and then doing the reverse. We're gonna let the air come out of the chest and then the belly. So the belly is first and then also the belly is last. Try that out just for a few breaths. See if that works for you. If that doesn't work, don't worry. Just do your regular breath, however you do it. Starting to settle our energy. Maybe we were a little busy this morning, or maybe we're just waking up. Just let our energy even out a bit. Letting any of the stress of the week wash out. Not looking back, not looking forward, just staying in the current moment. Let's start with some twisting motions. Let's just move gently side to side, bringing the arms across, keeping them loose. Perhaps some movement in the neck as well as we go side to side. Seeing where we might be tight this morning. All right, let's come back to center and work some really big shoulder rolls. Let's grow real tall. Bring your shoulders up and forward, and we're gonna hunch over just a bit, and then bend the knees, and open back up and rotate around. Really big movement, trying to engage the whole body here. One more time. And let's reverse. Big motion backwards. Open the chest, look up. One more time. Up and back. And let's hold here. Arms are back slightly. Heart is open, breathing right into the center of the chest. A couple of big, deep breaths here. Very nice. Let's release. Let's bring the hands up, press them up toward the ceiling, palm up. Hold and stretch. Exhale, bring the hands down. Big lift up, inhale. Press toward the ceiling. Look up slightly. And down, exhale. One more time, just like that. Inhale, big reach, press up. And exhale down, very nice. All right, let's take our hands up once more. Let's grasp one wrist and then pull over slightly over midline. Letting the shoulder open, letting the side of the body open. Making sure we're trying to reach straight up and not forward as much as we can. And let's go the other way, other wrist. And release. Great. All right, let's widen our stance. We're going to work moonflowers and sunflowers. So let's get into our bent knee position as if our back is flat against a wall, so we're coming straight down. And then we're going to reach up out to the sides and exhale and bend deep. Sitting down, think of chair pose here. Making sure that our knees are tracking over our feet. Inhale as we reach, exhale as we come down. One more like this. Exhale, and reaching straight up, going into sunflowers. We're going to bring our arms across and in front of us, and we're going to tip forward just a little bit. We're still going to keep our head over our heart and our heart over our pelvis. Inhale, big reach. Exhale, bend. One more time. And let's stand. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll meet at the top of the mat, feet a little closer together. We're going to work a chair flow next. So we're going to sit down for our chair pose. So similar to what we did before, knees are close together. Reach up with the arms. And as we stand, we're going to bring the arms behind us. Inhale, reach up or reach behind. Exhale, sit down into chair pose. One more time. And let's stand. Very nice. All right. Reaching up once more. And then we're going to come to a forward fold. Exhale. Move down slowly if you need. We're still warming here. Hands can come to the mat. Bend the knees if we need here. Maybe sway side to side. If we need more weight, we can cross our arms for ragdoll fold. One more breath here. Let's come up halfway, lengthen. Hands come to the mat or to the legs, shoulders back. And exhale, forward fold. Let's take our hands to the right, little twist and stretch. Feel that into your left shoulder. And then walking to the left. And back to center. Option to come to baby flamingo. So we're going to plant our hands and then lift one foot up. We're not going to move our knee. So our leg's going to stay pretty much where it is, but our lower leg is going to lift up. Continuing with our folding forward. So just an option here. Little balance helps to work the core as well. So let's set that leg down and switch to the other side if we're working our flamingo pose here. And then put that foot down, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold once more. Let's bring our hands to the mat. We're going to set our knees down to come to tabletop pose. And from here, we're going to work some barrel rolls, making sure that we have our joints stacked before we start moving, fingers spread wide. And then starting our barrel rolls, we're going to bend into our elbows and move from one side to the other. And then coming up to the top, think cat pose, and then down through our little roll. Continuing to move, trying to make this movement smooth. If this isn't working for you, you can do cat-cow. You can move side to side. It's up to you. Always choosing what's best for our body with these motions. All right, and if we're doing barrel rolls, let's reverse. And coming back to center. Let's put the elbows down. We're going to come to puppy stretch. Keeping the hips high, reaching back through the tailbone. Forehead can come to the mat. Really opening into the shoulders and chest. Feel your chest drop just a little bit here. Trying to keep our spine mostly neutral. Option to reach forward a little bit more. We need more stretch. Continually reaching back with the tailbone as well. Breathe. Very nice. Let's come back to our tabletop. We're going to, from here, curl our toes under, lift our knees and hips up and back, downward facing dog. And as always, creating any movement we need here, pedaling the heels, moving side to side with the hips, shaking the head loose, whatever is needed. And like with our puppy pose, continually reaching back with our tailbone. All right, we're going to work a little flow here. So let's bring the hips a little higher, shift them forward, and we're going to come to plank. Holding in plank for a breath. And then on an exhale, pressing up and back, thinking up and over with the hips, and shift back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift back up, coming to plank. Holding here for one breath. Trying to stay straight and strong, puffing up the upper back. Inhale, shift back, down dog. Last time, coming forward. We can always put our knees down if we need to on these planks. And then up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take a slow walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. And let's bend the knees a lot, arms out to sides, hinges at the hips as we reach up. Extended mountain. And then bring the hands to the heart, Anjali Mudra, exhale. Awesome. All right, we're going to start our sun salutations. As always, make sure you have a good root. Pressing into all four corners of the feet. Slight bend to the knees for that springy energy that we're going to use here to work through our flow. All right, here we go. Inhale, reach up. Extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold, plant the hands. Step the right foot back for lunge. Step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, coming to plank. And exhale, slowly down, shoulders over fingertips as we come down through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Little back bend here. Exhale, all the way down. Downward facing dog. Lift up the right leg. Knee can be bent for three-legged dog. And step through for lunge. Helping that foot up if necessary. Feet together, forward fold. Rise up, reach. And chair pose. Sit back. And here we go again. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Left foot back. Right foot back. Downward facing dog. Plank. And all the way down. Exhale. Cobra. And down. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Lunge it through. Forward fold. Reach up, extend down. Chair pose. Breathe. Inhale, reach. And forward fold. Right foot back. Left foot back. Down dog. Plank. And chaturanga, exhale. Cobra. Down. Downward facing dog. Right leg up. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach up. Chair pose, exhale. All right, let's keep it moving. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Left foot back. Right foot back. Down dog. Plank. And down, exhale. Cobra. And down. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach up. Sit back. All right, a couple more to go. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Right foot back. Left foot back. Down dog. Plank. And down. Cobra. And down. Down dog. Right leg up. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach up. Sit back. All right, last one. We got this. Inhale, reach. Forward fold. Left foot back. Right foot back. Down dog. Plank. And down. Cobra. And down. Down dog. Exhale. Left foot up. Lunge. Forward fold. Reach up. chair pose. Try to sit a little deeper here. Settle into your pose. Option for balancing chair. Finish out our series. Coming up off the heels. And release. Take a breath, get a drink of water. Great work. All right, we're going to start back up at the top of our mat when we're ready. Good posture. Step back with the right foot. We're going to settle into warrior one. Square the hips toward the front of the mat. Front knee over front ankle. Back leg is straight. Lift the arms, reach, or come to prayer posture. Let the chest open. All right, from here we're going to work a tilting flow. So we're going to come forward with the hands, making a long line from our fingertips to our heel. If this is too much on the shoulders or too much pressure on the lower back, we can reduce lever length by bringing the arms back behind us. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward, arms forward or down behind us. A couple more times. Inhale, reach. And exhale, forward. Up. And forward. One last time. Big reach. And forward. Coming down to humble warrior, let's bring our hands behind our back, interlacing our fingers and lifting up off the back slightly. So we can stay here in our tilted position, or we can fold this forward toward that knee, coming straight forward. So we're not going to come to the inside of those legs. We're going to come straight forward to the top of the mat. And then lifting those arms up off the back, reaching as much as we can. Option here to bring the hands just to the mat rather than behind us. We need that stability. Let's release the hands now. We're going to walk them to the long edge of the mat, opening the toes, coming to a wide-legged fold. Exhale, crown of the head comes down. Release. Let's walk the hands out so they're under the shoulders. And we can work our feet open a little wider if we like. This is a straddle splits. So certainly if you can go lower than me, you can go ahead and do that. But keeping the hands underneath the shoulders for stability, so we feel that inner thigh stretch. All right, let's walk our hands. We're going to continue to go to the right and then come to standing. So we're facing the opposite edge of our mat. And we're going to settle into our warrior one on this side. Big reach with the arms. And then moving from our static pose here into our tilt flow. So our same options apply. Reaching forward, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward. Creating a smoothness and stability in our motions here. And then coming to our humble warrior next, interlacing the fingers or bringing the hands to the mat as we tilt forward. One more breath here. And then release the hands. Walk them out to the long edge of the mat, same edge as before. Widen the legs. We'll take our straddle splits one more time. Can also do our fold here if we like. Wide-legged forward fold. Otherwise, working our legs to a comfortable position, a little wider. Creating some challenge for ourselves with this stretch. All right, let's walk our hands to the left. And we're going to stand facing the front of our mat. And this time coming to warrior two, letting the hips open to the right edge. Settling the shoulders down. As before, knee over ankle on the front, back leg is straight. Settle into the pose. Let the shoulders settle down. Very good. Let's straighten that front leg. We're going to reach forward and come to triangle pose, tipping to the side, not letting our hips bump off the edge of the mat. So we're going to feel like we're standing in one plane here. Left hand reaches down toward the mat, or we can place it on the leg. And release both hands. We're going to bring the left foot to the center of the mat. And we're going to open up to a tripod pose or a standing half moon. So bringing the hands to the mat and starting to lift that back leg, pressing back with the heel for a tripod pose. Option here to do our standing half moon, planting that left hand underneath the left shoulder, rotating open on the right side, reaching up, and then opening that hip as well. So our foot is kind of parallel to the floor. Option here to use a block underneath that hand, if you've got one handy, for a half moon. That can help with that reach, certainly. And if you fall, no worries, just try again. And release down. Nice work. All right, we're going to come to the other side. Stepping back with the left foot this time. Hips open to the left edge of the mat. Warrior two. I'll switch sides here in my mat. Coming to triangle next, straighten the front leg, reach forward and tilt. Hips stay where they are. Reaching up with that left hand. And release, coming up a little bit, dropping that left hand, planting the right foot in the center of the mat, and working toward our tripod or half moon poses. So for tripod, placing the hands underneath the shoulders, lifting that left foot back, reaching back with the heel. And then for half moon, using our block or just placing our right hand on the mat, opening up. Rotating that hip open. Very nice. Let's release. And we'll come to standing. Shake it out a little bit. All right, moving to balance. So let's plant our left foot into the mat. Start to lift our right foot. We're going to bring our knee to our chest. So balancing pose here, bending that root knee. Continually pulling that knee in toward the chest. Option here for a twist. So if we want to try that, wrap our left fingers around the knee and then pull toward that left side. Option here to open with the right hand and twist the upper body, looking over our right shoulder. And release. Let's come back to center. And then we can open the other direction, opening the hip this way. We can also come hand to big toe. It's another option. We can always use a wall to help support us if we need to. So reaching for the outside of the foot or the toes, and then opening the hip outward. And my balance is not great today at all, so I'm definitely going to use a wall. Two more breaths here. And let's release. We'll come to the other side. Lifting the left knee into the chest, slight bend to the right knee as our root. Posture nice and tall in the upper body. And then option for our pull across midline here and twist. So wrapping the hand, the right hand across the left knee, opening with the left hand behind. Coming back to center. And then opening that leg out slightly. Option for hand to big toe. And again, it doesn't have to be literally hand to big toe. We can have our hand grasp at the leg or at the outside of the foot. Whatever's going to work for us. And if we do have that toe grasp, making sure that we're not yanking back too hard on that toe, that we're gripping down a little bit further toward the ball of our foot. So we're not creating too much stress on that toe. And release. Very nice. Okay, next we're going to come to a wide stance. And we're going to work our energy exercise, polishing the mirror. So this is that deep bend into the knees like we did before, but with our flow. We're going to reach out with the arms and then circling to the center and down as we bend the knees. Inhale, out to sides, palms still forward. So that's where we get our idea of polishing the mirror. The palms are always forward on this as we circle. Also called parting the clouds. One more time like this, and then we'll reverse. Pressing up and out, and down to the sides. Try to challenge yourself, bend a little deeper. And one more time, big lift. And down. Light exhale as we release. Very good. Okay. Next, we're going to keep our stance and we're going to do our leg sweeps. So we're going to bring our weight from side to side, shifting to the left first, sweeping that right leg around, lifting it up off the mat if we can. Otherwise, just tracing a big circle with that foot. Then settling the weight to the other side and circling that leg, sweeping it in front of the other. Once it's down, shifting the weight and circling. Excellent for the balance here. We're working leg strength. We're working a little into the core as well with that lift. And we can lift a little higher too if we want. We can make this a big movement if we like, really bringing the knee up and out. More challenging for the balance, more leg strength here, working into that hip. Keeping the toe pointed down through this process. One more time each side. And back to center. All right, shake it out. Nice work. Okay, let's come to hands and knees next. And then coming to lie all the way down onto our belly, we're going to come to Sphinx pose. Elbows underneath the shoulders, hands flat on the mat. Let's open the chest. Let the shoulder blades knit together slightly. Not creating stress at the back of the neck. It's not lifting up the head too high. Our active movement is to bring the heart forward. Breathe into the center of the chest. Lots of big movements in class so far today. Lots of strength exercises. Let's let things cool down just a little bit here. One more breath. And we're going to bring the hands down and push up and shift back to child's pose. We can do a wide-legged version, so knees wider on the mat, or more the narrow leg, knees close together, will give you a little bit more back stretch, but it may not be accessible for everyone. So pick your version here. Arms reaching forward or down to the sides, whichever we need. Breathing into the mid back and upper back here with our expanding breath. And exhaling, letting the hips sink down every time. Very nice. Let's come back to our tabletop. Hands and knees. And we're going to work a short plank challenge here with an option to come to upward facing dog. So we can choose our kneeling plank or full plank for this. Or we can come to the forearms, which is a little bit more difficult. Keeping the hips slightly high here so we're not reducing down toward the mat. Twenty more seconds. Keep breathing. Option here in the last few seconds to switch the feet and press up higher, upward facing dog. Only the tops of the feet and the hands pressing into the mat. Five seconds. And release down. Nice work. Take a breath. All right, we're going to come back up to our tabletop. And I'm going to rotate on my mat so you can see me a bit better. You can do this as well for this pose. We're going to come to a frog pose, which is a very strong inner thigh stretch. If we need padding on the knees, we can double up the mat. This is a good one for that padding. So you can double it up on both sides if you like, if you're on a hard surface. Might help with the knees and the inner thighs be a little bit more comfortable. But we're going to spread the legs and start coming down toward the mat. Elbows can come to the mat. And then just very slowly try to work the knees apart a little wider, getting deeper into our frog pose. You may need to make adjustments here, go a little bit wider, or if it's too much, take some pressure off. All right, very good. Let's start to work our way out. Let's bring our hands up and release the knees, bringing them forward, and then opening our mat back up if we had it curled over. And we're going to come to seated. Legs long, starting in staff pose for our seated positions. Opening the chest, lengthening the neck, lifting the head slightly. Keeping active in the lower core. We can bend the knees a little bit or pad if we need to. This is not entirely comfortable. Soften the gaze or close the eyes. And then from here, we're going to do a seated forward fold. Lifting the hands, big reach. Exhale toward the legs, resting the hands on the legs or grabbing the toes or the feet. Making sure to keep some posture here. We're not hunching over too much. Coming forward and not so much down. Very good, let's release. From here, we're going to come to cradle the baby pose. And it may be enough for us just to cross one ankle over the opposite knee. This may be good enough of a stretch for us right here. If we want to try to go a little deeper, we can wrap our hand around our knee underneath, and then wrap the other hand under the foot, and then start to lift. And think of that same sensation that we get when we are in our pigeon pose, using our body weight in that pose, but in this case, we are using the strength of our arms. Working on sitting tall during this pose. And again, we can be here just with the leg across. And if neither of these poses are working for us, we can do a reclined version of pigeon. lying back with the leg across and then lifting from behind the opposite leg, pulling through the thigh. Otherwise, here in our cradle the baby, option here, if we need to get a little deeper, we can bring the hands underneath more. Pull that leg toward us. 2 more breaths here, wherever we're at. And release. Let's try the other leg. Just bringing it across first, and then seeing where our flexibility is with our pull towards us. Or taking one of our other options. And release. Nice work. All right, we've got one more strength pose. We're going to lie down onto our back. We're going to flow through bridge pose. Option to lift one leg as we do this. Making sure to crawl our shoulder blades under. Chest is open. Planting the hands. The feet can walk a little bit closer to the seat. And then bringing the hips up when we're ready. And staying here in our lifted pose. We're bringing one leg out straight, or we can try to bring it straight up toward the ceiling. Any of those options. And then setting that leg down, staying lifted, and lifting the other leg. If we need to come down and take a breather at any point, we may. And slowly coming down all the way to the mat. Let's take our knees into our chest with both hands and rock side to side. All right, we're going to settle into our last pose here. So I want to give you an option today of doing legs up the wall. If you have a wall available or a couch or a bed that you can take your legs over, or we can go straight to Shavasana. So that's up to you. I will demonstrate legs up the wall. So for that, if you haven't done it before, shifting close to the wall. So we're on our side and then lying down and turning 90 degrees. So our seat comes close to the wall and then lifting our legs up. For the version with a bed or a couch, your legs are just going to be over the top, or they can be against the back of the couch. You have an option there. So any of these may work. Explore a little bit and try out what's going to work for you. So think of this like staff pose or downward facing dog, but gravity is really doing the work for us. So we can work on straightening our legs a little bit more. We can bring them out to the sides a bit and open them. We can also do a legs up the wall version of butterfly, so bringing the feet together and then using the hands to gently press the knees down toward the wall. So find your version here. Slow the breath. Working toward equal ratio breath, breathing in for the same time as we're breathing out. Either pose we're in, or whatever pose we're in, trying to relax completely. Noticing if we have any tension left in our body anywhere. If we're clenching our jaw or furrowing our brow, for instance. If we're holding tension in the shoulders, in the chest. Release and relax. Yoga helps us clear our slate, clearing our mind completely, just focusing on our practice, our breathing, our meditation. Allows us to make things clear that may not otherwise have been. Helps us get rid of the clutter. Sweep things away that we don't need and that don't serve us. Option here if we like to come down to Shavasana, if we've got legs up the wall, or we can stay there. And continue the rest of our meditation and breathing in the pose that we find most helpful and comfortable. So let's reflect back on what brought us to the mat today. What motivates us to work on ourselves? What motivates us to be better? What in our life is pushing us forward to improve? Continuing to be healthier, attempting to be happier, learning more, exploring more. What is our motivation? What is the source of our joy? What is our overall source of motivation? It keeps us going. Finding that source of motivation, finding that source of truth within us can bring to light our path that we may not have known we need to take. Can help us make decisions more easily. We know where our motivation is coming from, our reason for being. Let's start to deepen the breath. Maybe move the extremities a little bit, wiggle the fingers and toes. If we're on the wall still, let's come off the wall and come back to our mat. Bring our knees to our chest and turn to our side. Feeling refreshed and renewed. Feeling that we understand our purpose, that we've done some exploration internally. Even if we didn't completely find that answer, just the act of exploring was helpful. And when we're ready, let's come to a seated position, resting our hands on our knees, either palm up or palm down. Shoulders back. And we're going to chant Om, reaching into our deepest energy, reaching into that reason for being that we have. As we chant, let's take a big inhale, exhale, and say Om. Breathe. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you can continue your journey of finding your truth throughout your week and your weekend. We'll see you next time. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, guys. Just a quick note before we end. I'm looking forward to reopening into in-person classes, possibly starting at the beginning of June. And regardless of that timeline, we're still going to do an online component to the class. So if you're joining from online, I would just be from the studio in that case. So if you do want to join me in the studio, there may be an opportunity at some point soon. I will keep you apprised on that. But see you soon. Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.